Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 12th of April 2023. Now, before I get into the main topic of this video, another quick shout out for another event. This time it's back down south in East Sussex on the 20th and 21st of May. So only just over a month there, and it's another Uprise and Shine event at the Hope Sussex premises, which, as I say, is in East Sussex, not far from Battle. And I went to one in February. Highly recommend them. They are fantastic. There's so many speakers, there's workshops going on, and you can sort of just spend an entire weekend in the company of like-minded people. So it's a very uplifting event. And this time round, unlike February, because it's a bit chilly then, there will be camping, so you can spend the intervening night or nights camping there. And what I'll do is leave a link to so you can book your tickets and everything in the description box below. I think it's about £30 if you just go for one day, or £50, or just over £50, just over £30 and just over £50 if you go for the full 2 days. And then I think the camping's about a tenner a night. But if you like seeing Mark Devlin speaking, he's going to be there on the Saturday afternoon. This time he's going to be talking about Tavistock, MK Ultra, and the societal mind control that goes on. So again, a little bit different from some of his other talks. He does like to vary things a little bit, mix things up. So promises to be a really, really good talk by Mark Devlin there, and the whole event I can highly recommend, and I will be there. I'm going to go down to film it again, and so if you can't go, it will be filmed, but hopefully if you can make it that weekend, the live experience will be so much better for you. And the venue is really good. There's catering. They do some really good quality food there as well for you to sort of get. So yeah, highly recommend that. But anyway, let's get on with the main topic. So there's this petition going around at the moment. It's been on the Telegram groups, etc., for quite a few weeks, and what they're wanting to do, well, you've got this World Health Organization plan. They want to bring in a treaty which will basically make all the governments of the world, or at least those who sign up to this thing, subservient to them whenever they choose to declare another sort of pandemic. So that is what they want to do. They want to bring in this treaty, and a lot of people are sort of afraid of this treaty because, the WHO will be free to basically inflict more lockdowns, muzzle mandates, V mandates, and all of the rest of it on us if they decide, which they seem to do at the drop of a hat a lot of the time, decide if there's another lurgy floating around and another sort of pandemic for it. So a lot of people are concerned, and there's this petition. They basically want to make sure the government, the UK government, has a referendum before any such treaty is kind of brought into affect the UK. And initially I thought, that would be a good one to sign. Obviously it'd be good. But then when I thought about it after a day or two, I thought, is that really such a good idea? It doesn't quite sit right with me, because the people wanting this referendum, the people petitioning for it, are obviously just taking it for granted that in such a referendum, the answer to this WHO treaty would be no. But what if it's yes? And it could well be a yes. After all, we've seen how easy it is for the powers that shouldn't be to mind control people and get them to do what they want them to do. And they would obviously want them to vote yes to the WHO treaty in such a referendum. And if that is voted in as a yes, well, that means that we haven't got a leg to stand on. They could just turn around and say, well, you did vote for it. Now, you've just got to put up with it. So I think, but after I realised that, I thought, no, I don't want the referendum at all. I don't want the treaty at all. I don't want a referendum. I just want us to say, a no, just a resounding no to this thing, and for it to go away. I don't want it to linger with any kind of referendum. So that is my take on it. Now, many people watching this will have already seen the latest Richard Vobes video, which I think he put out yesterday. One of his latest ones anyway. It's just entitled "This is Explosive." Very apt. That's not clickbait. That is a very apt title actually, and it features a guy called Sovereign Pete, who is very well versed in the world of kind of common law and all of that kind of thing, and he was kind of echoing that sentiment. The whole thing about petitions, you don't want to be signing these kind of petitions, because what that means is you really are kind of accepting the obligation that the government is putting forward, and that you are petitioning against, you see. So you're effectively saying, well, we agree this thing might come in, but we want to petition you to not bring it in, kind of thing. So that is not the way to go. The way to go, as far as I could see, and also as far as this Sovereign Pete was saying, is no, we just don't consent to it from day one. And he was offering some solutions in this interview. By the way, it gets very interesting at around the 35-minute mark into the video. So if you can't watch the whole thing, it goes on for about an hour. But do watch it from about 35 minutes to 40 minutes. Very fascinating, because he was referring more to the 15-minute cities rather than this petition, but basically what he was saying is one of the ways they might enforce it is through face recognition cameras. But he was saying that is easy to get round, because all we need to do is, instead of petitions, we just need to start serving notices and handing them in to the local councils, local governments, and even the national government perhaps as well. He kind of explains it a lot more from about 35 minutes in, this Sovereign Pete guy does. But that is the essence. So you just sort of serve them notice saying, no, I do not consent in any way, shape or form that you kind of take my picture out in the street and then use that picture to issue me with fines to enforce this 15-minute city. I did not sign any kind of contract, and if you use my kind of details, my photograph and personal details without my consent, that is going to carry a charge to you of not less than £100,000. Can you imagine that? They try and issue you with a 15-minute city fine because you've breached the terms of it, and you sort of say, well, actually, I did serve you this notice before you implemented this thing, where if you did this, I would be charging you 100 grand. So I'm not going to pay your fee because I did not consent to it, but I'm charging you 100 grand. So pay up, please. So very, very interesting concept that really caught my eye. And so that was a really good thing. Serve them notice, and also it kind of gets around this whole thing. You know what the government are like? They kind of put out these things, these consultations, etc. And when nobody kind of objects to it, they think that is implied consent because no one said no. So they take it as implied consent, and then they go ahead and implement their plans anyway. Well, you can then turn around and say, well, actually, there's no implied consent there because I served my notice to you at this point. Obviously you're going to keep a record of when you serve these notices, and you can say that, you see. So it is all very interesting, and it's well worth a watch, and it does show you how a little bit of knowledge into these sort of legal things, these lawful things, just shows you, as the Sovereign Pete says, the whole system, the powers that shouldn't be and their system, it's far from being the all-encompassing, all-powerful thing we all think it is. It is in fact very fragile, and all you need to do is get yourself a little bit of knowledge, get genned up a little bit, and then fight them with, basically fight fire with fire, and you can sort of just tell them to get lost, basically, when they try to implement these things. So it's a very, very good talk. I think it will give you a lot of hope. It will empower you, as it did with me. I've actually watched it twice. I watched it last night when it first came out, and then again over breakfast this morning. So highly worthwhile. And apparently he's got, this Sovereign Pete guy, he's got a website which Richard Vobes has got on his video. So if you go into the description box on his video, not mine, you'll see the Sovereign Pete's website link, and apparently he's going to be offering a 22-week course, online course, where he will teach you all of this, how to fight all of this kind of thing, and how to make yourself sovereign and to fight any moves that the powers that shouldn't be try to hit us with next, kind of thing. And this isn't a recommendation. I'm certainly not getting any kind of payment for mentioning this. Or in fact the Uprising China event, I never get any sort of payment for any of these recommendations. All I can say is I highly recommend these things, and as far as this 22-week course is concerned, it's something I might do myself. I'm not sure how much it is yet. It's probably going to be a little bit pricey, I'd imagine, if it's 22 weeks, but I'll see how my finances are, and try and sort of make some time for it if I can sort of get enough time, that is, because I seem to be sort of pulled in all sorts of different directions at the moment. But it may well be worth looking into, and if I sign up to that course, obviously I'll tell you sort of how it goes and what I learned along the way. So with that said, I'll let you go and watch this Richard Vobes and Sovereign Pete interview. Very, very worthwhile watching, and like I say, it will uplift you and give you a lot of hope, if nothing else. So I'll leave it there for now. Back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.